Hello, welcome back to Django tutorial. In this video, I am going to discuss on message framework in a Django. First, we'll see a theoretical part and then I'll show you through the coding. A message framework is nothing but temporarily store message in one request and retrieve them for display in subsequent request. It requires setting under the project. Also, we can use a different level and tags that are used. Django provides full support for cookies and session-based messaging for both anonymous and authenticated. What kind of settings are required in message framework? So when you create a project, that time these are the default setting in your project. We just need to verify under the install app, django.contrib.message package is there. Under the middleware section, you can verify these two packages, django contrib session middleware. And second one, django contrib messages middleware, message middleware. Under the templates, we can find a context processing. Inside the context processing, you can find django contrib messages, context processing, processor messages. We add message level to group the messages by type so that we can filter or display differently in the views and the template. Message tag is nothing but a string representation of message level plus any extra tag that were added directly in a view. Tags are stored in a string and separated by using the spaces. So these are some of the levels of the tag. The first one is debug, level is 10, and CSS tag is debug. Having purpose of that tag is development related messages. All the development related message we can write under this level. Second one is info, having level is 20, CSS class is info, having purpose is informational messages for the user. Next one is success, having level is 25, CSS class is success, and purpose of that level is action was successful. Next one is a warning, having level is 30, CSS class is warning, and the purpose of this level is failure did not occur but may be imminent. Next is error, having level is 40, CSS class is error, and action was not successful or some other failure. So these all are message level and the tag that we can use during the coding. So moving ahead, to use this label, tag, and the classes, we require some functions. So message class consists of many functions like add messages, having some parameter, let's say request, label, extra tags, and other parameter as well. During the implementation, I'll show you that how to write the message function, how to call the function directly, how to call the message function through these inbuilt functions that we'll discuss through the coding. So now we'll start the discussion through code. First, we'll create a project by using the command django admin start project, name of the project. So here I'm going to create message project. Once the project is get created and go inside the project folder, then we'll create one of the application under the project. Create the application, I need to use a command python manage.py start app, name of the application. Here I'm going to write folder as my name of application. So once the application is created, you can explore the project, you can find the coder application under the project. Now, next thing is that I'll create a template for this application. I'll create new folder under the project, having name is template. Under the templates, I'm going to create the application, that is coder application. Inside that coder application, we are going to create a new file having name is index.html. And that file, just add some line of tags are there. And here I am going to write this testing page. This message will be displayed once we execute the project. Now this is the initial boilerplate is ready for project, app, and the template. Now we need to do the setting of all these things. So open the project folder, go inside the setting.py file. First of all, add the application. Already some inbuilt apps are there. We need to add one of the customized application that we have created, and that name of application is coder that we have added inside that setting.py. Next is to modify the template tag. Inside the directory, we have to update the template directory. But before that, we need to import the one of the package, import OS, and now we are going to add the directory. OS path dot join. After base directory, we are going to add the template. So this is the setting for template and the application. Everything has been set under the application. Now we are going to create a model inside the application. So go inside the coder application, open the models.py file and create one of the model of coder which consists of name, email ID, year of experience. So here I'm going to create a class coder model. Then we'll take one attribute. So name equal to models dot. I'm looking for a character field. I'm going to set max length is equal to 55. Similarly, we are going to add the email ID is equal to models dot email field. So I'm going to send the max length is equal to 55. We are going to add year of experience of the coder is equal to models dot integer field. We can find integer, email and character, 3 fields has been included inside the model. So coder model consists of 3 attributes: name, email ID, year of experience. I'll write one more function here inside the class. So underscore str underscore. Here I'm going to write self. So that function is going to return one of the attribute like self.name. This is end of the model. Now this model is get created. We'll design the form to display this model onto the representation layer. Now we are going to create the form.py under the application. So go inside the coder application, create a new file, forms.py, and then we'll create one of the form. So to create a form, first of all, we need to import the form package. So from Django import forms. Then we have to import the models. So from dot models import. If there are multiple models, we can just start only one model, then we can mention the name of the model. So model is get imported and form package also get imported inside this forms.py. Then we have to write the class, and here we are going to do the ordered form. Having parameter is forms.model forms. Forms dot inside this class, we can write the specific attribute that you want to display on the form. Here I'm going to create a class data which will hold all the information of the coder model. So model is equal to coder model. Then field also we can mention that year of experience. These 3 fields are there in our model that are being used in the forms. So these 3 fields will fill through the form and will be stored into our model. So forms.py is also completed. Next thing is that we need to register this model into admin.py. So go to the application, opens the admin.py file, and we need to register the model here. So to register the model, first of all, we have to import form models import. If there are multiple models, you can start. If there is a specific model you want to import, you can specify the name. Then I'm going to write the class. Now we need to register the model, that is the coder model. So coder model admin, and can pass the parameter is admin dot model admin, and a specific data that we want to display. So list display is equal to, we can mention the attribute. So ID is by default created when the model is get created. Then name is there. Then email ID is there. One more attribute is year of experience. This you want to display into the admin banner. Next is, let's say, in dot register name of the model. So coder model you want to register is display the list in the admin panel. So this much task is completed. Now what we need to do? First of all, we need to execute the command python manage.py make migration, which will convert our model into the query. Now this model is get converted into query. Now we need to migrate into our database. So next command is python manage.py migrate. It will migrate all the data into the database. You can find all the tables and get created. So to verify this, what we can do? We can create a super user. So to create a super user, you can use the command python manage.py create super user. To create a super user, I'm going to write the name is admin. Don't want to enter email address. Password is also admin. Don't give same password again. Very short, but I want to create it. So once the super user it gets created, we need to execute the project by using the command python manage run server. Now we'll get this URL, copy this URL and paste into the browser. Now we are going to go inside the admin part. We need to enter the username, that is admin, and we are going to enter the password, that is also admin. We'll get this coder model, which is initially empty. Once I click on this, the coder model is empty. We can add the data. Now we'll go back to the coding. Now we'll update the view. So go inside the views.py and we need to write the view function to display the data on the index.html. Now we are going to write the views under the views.py. So first of all, we'll write a function that is coder details and having parameter is request. Whatever the data is filled from the index.html will be captured and stored into the models. So that data will be captured from the forms. So we are going to import first from dot forms import name of the form. So name of the form is coder form. Coder form is get imported. Inside the function, we are going to check if request dot method is equal to post. If the data is posted by the user, then that data is get captured and will be stored into the object is, let's say, fm is equal to coder form. Here we need to import the coder form. So that we are going to store the data from coder form and the data is stored into the request dot. Whatever the data in the request dot post will be create an object fm. After that, if that object is valid, then we need to save that information. We are going to use method save that object. But if it is not the case, then what we need to do? We need to go to the else part, and the else can store the empty data in the object. So fm is equal to coder form, then that function is going to return render request for name of the application is coder, and said that we have index.html. The data is the form of dictionary, so whatever the data of the form, we store the form. So this is the particular function which will check the data. If the data is present, then will be stored into the object fm and that object is going to be saved. If the data is not, then whatever the empty data is there, that is been written by the function. This is the views.py under the application. Now we need to set the URL pattern for project as well as for the application. So go to the project folder, open the urls.py. First of all, we need to include the application URL. So first of all, we have to add the include function, and inside the URL pattern, we are going to add our application. We are going to include application URL. So application is coder dot URLs. So application URL is been added over here. Then we are going to create a new urls.py under the application. Copy the content of main URL and paste into the application URL. We need to modify few things. We don't want to include any application now inside the application. We'll remove this. This particular URL, we are going to first import from coder import views, and inside that function, I don't want to execute admin part. So index, and this is going to be changed with the actual view. So views dot coder detail. This particular view is get imported inside the URL pattern. So both project and the application URL has been set properly. Once it has been set properly, then we have to modify our index.html. So go into the index.html, and now we have to add a certain tags here. So I'm going to use a form tag. Form, the channel is empty, and the method is post. That is post. Inside the form tag, going to use ESRF token. We are going to call the form dot as underscore thing. Will display all the contents of form onto this index.html. After that, whatever the content has been displayed from the form, we have input, say type is submit. Their value is also it's submit. This is end of input. Now almost we have done everything, the index page as well. Now we need to execute to verify whether we are getting the correct output or not. I just stop the execution once and execute again. There is no error in the project, so we'll get a new URL. Copy this URL and paste into the browser. Initially this admin is there, we'll keep it as it is. Open the link in the new tab and find we have two links, index and admin. So we are going to execute index link. Once the index link is executed, we are getting name, email ID, year of experience. This data that we can fill it and submit it. So if I fill certain sample data, let's say Gokul, email ID is, let's say this one, year of experience is, let's say 4, we'll submit this information. The data has been submitted. We need to verify whether really data has been posted or not. We'll go back into the another tab and find create model, initially empty. Now the data has been fed inside it. Now here onwards, our actual use of message framework will start. So whenever this data is get posted, we need to display a message that account is get created or code information has been saved. Now we can log into a coder page. These sort of messages that we want to display this presentation. So now we'll go back into our actual coding and open the views.py file. Now we need to modify that views.py file. So first of all, we need to import the message pack. So from Django.contrib import messages. This package has been imported inside the views.py. So whenever we save the data, that form, that time we can call the message method. After this save, I want to display a message. So messages dot, I want to add a message, and there are multiple parameters. First parameter is request. Second parameter is the type of message. So whether it is success, info, or debug. So messages dot success. So I want to display a success message, and then the actual message that I want to display. Coder details is saved. This particular message will display this. This message you want to display on the presentation layer, that is on the index.html. You have to modify the tags under that template. Open the index.html and we added the forms tag. Inside that or after form tag, we can do that. So I'll keep it simple. I'll add after the form tag. So that message will be hold if the messages is there, then there may be one message, there may be multiple messages there. We will add a loop here for multiple messages for mn messages. If there are multiple messages, that again we can display, and one by one all the messages are going to be displayed. Then end of the for loop, and for, and end of the if, and if. Likewise, we are going to display the messages onto the presentation layer. We'll save the content and again go back to the browser. Again, I refresh this page and I fill the details. Now I'm going to fill the data. Name is data, where ID is data @ email.com, year of experiences, let's say 7 years. Once we click on the submit, you can find the coder detail is saved. That message is going to display. If you want to display the tags which comes with the message, that also we can display on this presentation layer. So we'll go back into the coding and we are going to open the index.html. Can use, say, if I want to display that tag as well. So we are going to write if m.tags is there, if m.tag is there, then we can display that dot tags and the if. I will go back again to the browser. Just I'm going to refresh this index.html. I'm going to again data, write me the rate mail.com, year of experience 11. We'll try to submit it. You can find a success message. This is the way that we can use a message framework in our. There are other ways are there, like I want to check the level. I want to set a specific level of the message. That also we can set a specific level that the message can go into the views.py. Already we imported the message framework. So inside this save method, I'm going to write, let's say, messages dot. There are different ways that we can add a message. Instead of writing the add message function, you can write, let's say, info. That will display the info that what this action we can perform. Also, we can use a debug method. Check that this is the debug level of this one, or we are debugging this particular function or state of code. Hope you understand that how the message framework can be used in our Django coding. Thanks for watching.